All right, here are 5 fun things to do with text in Procreate that I believe that basically anyone can do. So the first one, we're going to have a layer on top of our text layer, and we're just going to add dots. I'm using a monoline brush that I've increased the size of in the properties section, and I'm just tapping dots all over in all different types of colors. And I add in some of the first layer dots just so I can get an even coat of all the colors. And then I'm going to do a clipping mask on top of that text. And I love clipping masks because it makes it so you can move it around afterwards or edit it later if you need to. That is the first one. And you can also do any other kind of texture as well. I also show that with this one, you can do the liquify tool and you can push the colors all around, make it a little bit funky. That's up to you. You could do like a tie-dye texture, you could do like a watercolor texture, you could do lots of different options. Obviously not necessarily with the liquify tool, but you can use the liquify tool to change up your designs if you want to. So I wanted to show that that was an option. So we'll finish that one up. Our next one is a shadow technique. So we're going to duplicate our text layer and then go in and edit our text, our bottom text layer, and change the color. I'm going to pick a pink color just so it's distinct and you guys can tell. Then I'm going to go and I am going to tap the transform tool and just tap it, bring it down to the side at a diagonal, basically. So I'm then going to rasterize it, and that just makes it so it's not editable as a text anymore, and so I can just easily add this extra color. So you could have just left it the first way if you wanted just a drop shadow. This is going to add just a little bit more of an element, so all the corners in that direction, I'm going to connect it. Thankfully, you don't have to watch me do every single one of these. I'm just going to show you how I do the first couple. Just keep it all at the same angle, like a box, basically. And the O didn't need any, so now we're going to speed this up just so you can still see me do it, but so you're not here all day, you can get to creating on your own. I just realized I forgot the top of the T now that I'm watching this over again, so don't do what I did and don't forget the top of the T if you have a T in your design. So you'll zoom out and now that's all I can see. So something else you could do is go in with a texture brush. I've seen a lot of people doing this lately, is going with a darker color or like a layer mask and creating like shadows on certain parts of it. This isn't something I've mastered yet, or else I would have shown more of a tutorial on it. I just wanted to show that if this is something you're good at, you could go ahead and do that, but that's still something I'm practicing. So I'm going to show that you could do it on the upper side, but I didn't do a great job of it. So there's those options to help make them a little bit more interesting. And that is it. All right, wrap it up, girl. Come on. Okay, so our next one, we've got a stipple brush option. So a stipple brush, I'll just show you what the shape looks like. That's what it looks like if you wanted to make your own. You could go in and make your own in like the radial symmetry tool. But I got these free on procreate.art. So what I'm going to do is in a different color than the background. You'll notice I changed the background color just to make it a little bit more fun. I will color all around the text in a different layer than the text. And usually I did it in a circle, but I just wasn't loving that. So I just kind of scribbled all around it. And it took me forever to find the brush I wanted because there was just so many options. So I just ended up scribbling over it so you could see what I did. So after I was done scribbling over it, I'm going to make the text the exact same color as the background. And that just makes it seem like it's an outline of the text. I really like this. I think it looks really fun. I've never been able to use it for anything, but I really like it. Another thing you could do is just pick like a random, you could do this for any texture. It doesn't necessarily have to be a stipple brush. I picked a paint one from the painting section, and I just scribbled all over it. Obviously not this fast in real life, and normally I would do a better job. And then again, make the text the same color as the background. Our next one is a weaving in and out type of texture, or not texture, tutorial. So I tried to do YouTube, and then I was like, oh, I'll do channel. And it took me about 17 times to get it right. So this one, we want the text to overlap in certain parts because that's what's going to help us get this effect. So we've got our cursive layer in a different layer than our text. And we're going to put it on top. Then I'm going to go in with the same eraser. An eraser is the same brush that I drew it in just so I can keep the texture. And I'm going to erase just certain parts of it that overlap with the text. So I don't make you watch all of this in real time, but I just wanted to show you a couple of them. I erased a little bit of that C, even though you probably wouldn't even be able to tell at first glance. And then I do the H, the downstroke of the H. This is me coloring some of the color back in because my eraser is just a little bit too big. I should have made it a smaller eraser, but I didn't want this to take forever. So it basically makes it so it looks like the text is weaving inside and outside of the text layer, or like the type layer. And I just speed all that up so you don't have to watch it forever. Then I accidentally undid the E. So it makes it just so, I think this is really fun if you wanted to do it for like a sticker design or a wall hanging, or I mean, even like a cover of a notebook, like a quote on a notebook would look cute, or like a really short, cute quote or something like that. So it's harder to tell farther away, but once you're closer up, and if you used more contrasting colors, it would be more dramatic. Now this last one, we're going to lower the opacity of the text. You can do that either by tapping the N or tapping the layer with 2 fingers, then swiping. And we're just going to add, but you could add anything you want. I'm going to add leaves and flowers, but you could add, I've added fruit. At the end of this video, I'll show you some of the other stuff that I've done. I've added fruit. You could add like, I don't know, paraphernalia for like a sports team, or my head got in the way. Oh my gosh. So I'm doing leaves, but you could do basically anything inside your your letters, not your plants. So if there's something that you're obsessed with or that you really enjoy drawing, make it small and put it in your letters. I make small leaves and I put dots around it just to make the letters really distinct on the edges, because if you don't make it distinct when you select the text layer, it will be a little bit harder to read. And I think a piece of advice that I didn't necessarily follow is to keep the type a little bit farther away from each other. Where I put them so close, it does make it a little bit harder to read at the end. But this is me drawing. If you want watch a full video of me doing this, I just posted one for my 500 subscribers just the other day, so you can go back and watch that. So basically this one is really time consuming, but I think it's totally worth it because I think it's a really fun look. So this is how this one turned out. So I think it looked so cute, really natural. Here are some of the other things that I did with putting objects inside of text. So this is some fruit that I did when I hit 75K on TikTok. I did lots of citrus, different oranges. I did pomegranates for when I hit 50K, and I did the pomegranate leaves in there too. This one is lemons. So fun. I have a tutorial for this one on my IGTV, specifically this specific letter exactly. I also did an M with an orange. This is when I was first getting into adding a little bit more shading and textures to my objects. This was the very first one I ever did. This was when I was really into watercolor. This one took forever because it was my first one. And then this one I actually have a sticker of in my Etsy shop. It's in the link in the description. But thank you so much. If this video was helpful for you, like and subscribe and comment and share. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching.